Hi, I'm author Frank Maris, and I'm your host of this monthly Zoom channeling of the Spirit of Jesus. Yes, I really mean the Jesus, who will be channeled by Ginny Balvin, a very talented psychic. Jesus specifically picked Ginny because in a past life, she was his baby sister, Salome. In this current life, the Spirit of Jesus came to Ginny in a January 2020 hypnoregression that I did for her. In that regression, Jesus opened her throat chakra, and then he began to immediately speak through her. After the regression, Jesus continued to communicate to Ginny in her walking meditations. There, he encouraged her to allow him to speak to the public through her. She was hesitant, but she finally agreed to do it. My job was to make it happen. So to start, we are using online meetups. I'll provide more details about these meetups at the end of this video. Once Ginny is in her trance, she has no idea what is happening and has no memory of what transpires. The reason for that is that the Spirit of Jesus is within her body and has complete control of it. That is normal for any channeling session by a psychic. But what's exciting about the process is that participants can ask direct questions to Jesus and get direct answers in a conversational way. You'll quickly notice that Jesus is well up to date on what's going on in the world. So, without further ado, the following are the highlights of our latest channeling.
Good evening. Good evening to all who have taken their time and their effort to be here with us tonight as we start this endeavor, which was started, as Frank pointed out, over a year ago. There were other opportunities that got in the way, but here we are. When the student is ready, the master will appear. And we are now ready to move forward. We are ready to answer questions through this vessel that we have worked hard on to teach the value of communication, that perhaps what is necessary for each of you to move forward in your best possible stride can be revealed, can start to open you and allow you to know and see how your paths will be laid out going forward. We are here with much gratitude to any and all of you for being here with us. We know time is a very important commodity in this 3D. We know everyone's time is of the most important. I myself have no dealings with time and find it almost a little bit funny. But yet here we stand at this threshold of time, ready to answer some questions.
So, Master, I'll start out. Can you kind of address to the group your thoughts about this time of strife that we're in this country and the world?
This is a time of change. You all are aware we are going into the age of Aquarius. We have actually been going into the age of Aquarius for a while. This is part of that change, part of that movement. Things will begin to look different. You are the brave souls who came to experience the change itself, to go through it, to walk through it, and to understand it, to teach those behind you. It is an important lesson, and your being here is of great value right now. Do not think anything that's happening is problematic. Everything as is, as it should be. With blessings from above, this we know, and this we tell you. Be patient with yourselves, let things unfold as they do. Everything is perfectly attuned for each of you. Don't join into that collective thought that the world is in strife. The world is perfect, exactly where it needs to be. And it's going to go forward from that point.
Thank you. Okay, folks, any of you have a question or? Go ahead.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. So a lot of Christians speak about something called the rapture. And I was wondering if that could be explained a little bit like simply to me. And so it's sort of like Jesus will be returning to earth. So I wondered if that is a question that could be answered.
That is a question that can be answered, but not in your religious terms. Think of the rapture more as an opening of each individual soul. As each soul opens, it will join the collective oneness. That will be the rapture. It's not going to be, I know it reads, there are two in a room and one is left and two are taken. That's literally usually described as one disappears and the other one remains. One will become enlightened and one will not. But both are still beings created of the Father, still loved of the Father. One might learn in this lifetime and another might need 2 or 3 lifetimes to learn. But that's what is meant by that. It's not that, I think it's hail and brimstone is going to rain down upon the earth. It is more of a personal awakening, and each person has the right responsibility to awaken as they come to the place where they can accept and understand what is being taught to them. Those who have ears to hear, let them hear. Those who have eyes to see, let them see. People will hear and see at different times. Nobody's going to hear the same time their spouse hears. People are not going to hear the same time their children hear. Everybody has their course set out, and everybody's rapture will come to them when their time is right, when the Spirit moves them, when they are in the Spirit. And that time, nobody knows. I cannot tell you yours would be here and someone else's would be there. That is not possible. Just know the more you open, the closer you become, and the more willing you become because you are opened. And that will serve you much better. And I thank you for your question. Have I answered it, or can I add anything else to it?
Can you expand on what you mean by collective oneness?
We are all created of our Father. We are all extensions of that one great creator, which makes us all one, which makes us all brothers and sisters, which makes us all family, which is a teaching that I have tried to convey. The great collective one, the great being, the great creator that created you, that created me, this is the one that will guide and lead us all home as we all learn to accept our own divinity and find that place within us that we know belongs to God or Creator, or whatever word symbolically fits your understanding to use is fine. Can I add more to that?
May I ask another question?
Please.
So when we die and our soul goes to heaven, how do our relatives recognize us if we're not in our human body anymore?
That is a hard one for most people in the 3D to understand. You will be a light being. You will be a spiritual being. You will be able to recognize those that you knew, not because they're wearing the same clothing and the same body that they had when you knew them here, You will know them with their energy. You will know them through the light that their energy exudes. And I know that may seem a little difficult to understand at present, but just know when the spirit goes to whatever other realm it's going to go to, it will be a light being, a being of pure energy. And that energy is recognized one in all. And you'll see at that point that you recognize one in all. And there again is that oneness. And that's how each will recognize the other without fail.
Okay, thank you.
You are most welcome. Makes perfect sense. And your last statement is more than accurate. You cannot help anybody that does not want help. That's the most profound part of that statement. You can offer what you have, and what you have are wonderful gifts. And the more you offer them in small pieces, don't try to overdo it. I don't think there's any coincidence that your question follows the previous one. You need patience. Things will come when the timing is right. Don't set yourself a timeline when you have to have anything completed, learned. You don't have to reach a certain point in your sharing by a certain date. You're not in control of that. I am in control of that. And as you release, as I said, my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Just allow it to be, allow it to unfold as it does. You know, you feel in the pit of your stomach when you're being spoken down to by someone that isn't taking your abilities seriously. But you know, I'm standing right there beside you. You know, I'm holding you, and you know that you are real and that you have the ability to help. But when the time is right, we will bring that forward. Again, we started with the flux, there's a lot of change going on in this world right now. There's a lot new avenues that are opening, new possibilities are coming through. But at the same time, old things are closing down. Old attitudes are changing. Allow it to unfold. Be patient with yourself. Be patient with me. I am still with you. I will always be with you. There will never be a time when you will walk on your own. That is a promise from me. Hold that in your heart. Open your heart and let that fill you. And you will be able to go forward with much more calm.
And then the other thing is, a 20-year-old stepchild of mine passed away recently, and he was agnostic. He wasn't quite sure. He was very intelligent and very questioning about the is there a God? And he wasn't ruling it out, but he died before he found Jesus. And I'm wondering if he still has a chance of going to heaven, or is it based on you accepting Jesus as your savior?
Let me say, anybody in the 3D can deny the existence of our great Father in heaven. But let me tell you, he does not deny the existence of any of his children, no matter what they say or think. Now that he has crossed over, he sees things from a different light. and understands from a different point of view. And he isn't definitely has the ability to rise. He's not going to, I'm sure you're referencing hell and damnation forever because he did believe in Jesus. Again, our Father does not forget about any of his children. All of his children make the whole of his creation. If one piece is missing, that one piece will always be missing. He will be called home when the time is right. Perhaps he'll live again to learn and understand better. And he will be called home when he learns. But no, he will be fine. He is fine. He knows now what he didn't know. But he's very happy to know that. And speaking of dreams, you are correct. A lot of dreams are your subconscious teaching you the truths through other sources, other angels, your other masters, other guides, spirit guides that each of you have. They will teach you, they will help you. The mind is always aware of something going on, even when you're asleep and you dream and you wake up and you don't even know how you knew that you had a dream. How do you know you had a dream? Obviously, there was some sort of consciousness there that knows you had the dream. So no, your mind is never unconscious, never not thinking of something. And dreams are just teaching you and helping you put things in order. But again, to develop further and to go further and to understand more, it just takes practice and effort and time. And that is why this group is here together tonight. You do see the commonalities. So what was said maybe for one can bleed over to another. Don't think that we're ever speaking to just one person. Everything is always for a collective good. Everything will always help many people. It works best that way, to help many, to help them understand, and they can communicate with each other and spread it more. That's how this is going to work. I think there's that old commercial where one person tells another person, they tell two more people, and it goes on and on. It's a slow process. We're all going in little baby steps. There's been millennia of lifetimes when people have tried different ways. Most of them didn't work out. And we're trying a new way. We're trying to move forward. We're asking the help of all of you with your love for each other and your respect to take what you know, to hold it deep in your heart and to share it with those of you and those in your family and your friends, and just keep going. And this will be the path for each of you. Don't worry if you don't become big and famous. Don't worry. You might touch the heart of one person that you don't even know. And that person might go on and change the world. It's okay. It's all recorded. And it's all accepted by our great Father who wants his children home when they choose to come home.
About 10 or 12 years ago, somewhere in that time frame, very early in the morning, I saw what I would consider to be an orb or a spirit of some sort in my bedroom. And I don't know what it was for sure. And I didn't really have any profound, like I know that I saw something out of the ordinary, but I don't know what it was or who it was and why I saw it at that time. Can you help me with that?
Well, there are spirits, angels, all around. There are saints and there are helpers and there are spirit guides. It could have been a moment that you had the ability to understand that there was something there. All it takes is a moment to understand that there's another presence in the room other than just the self. And again, it was just a small window, a small glimpse. Take that. Know that, again, I will applaud you for even noticing it. So take that ability, work with it. Take time in the morning, in the evening. Spirit guides are all around you. Angels are all around you. They help us moment to moment. Try to direct that the decisions that we make are the best. Sometimes we need a little nudging. So if you know that you're seeing them and you know that they're there, allow them to come. Don't close the mind to the possibility that they're there. There's no reason to think that they can't be there. Only that we're told, or you're told and taught and domesticated in such a way that these things don't happen. They do happen. They are real. Take it as a good sign that there's someone watching over you. Don't fret over it. Don't cause yourself any angst over it. It is what it is. And it's still there. You just don't have the openness to see it on a regular basis, but you can. If you work with that ability, you can see what you want. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, I think so. I do think it opened up my eyes to the possibility because I saw something was like, oh my gosh. So thank you.
You're welcome. That's the smallest mustard seed is that you can just open that there is a possibility, that there is something else.
Okay, hi. My question is, are we here on this earth to learn a specific lesson? And if so, if we don't learn that lesson and we die and we go to heaven, do we come back again to keep coming back until we do learn that lesson? Or does the lesson change with each life? If that makes sense.
Makes perfect sense. Let me tell you, not lessons. Life is full of lessons for each and every person. But the lessons, of course, are different for each and every person. They're going to fulfill their needs. And a particular lesson that you don't learn in this lifetime, yes, you're going to come back and learn that same lesson until you get it, because these will be the stepping stones to get you to understand your divinity and who you are in truth. So you can let go of the need for those lessons. And you can let go of the need for them the moment you decide you don't need it. The moment you decide to love everybody. Can you love everybody? Can you love the clerk at the store that was too slow? Or do you still get angry? Or the person in front of you driving too slow when you're late for work? That's the basic lesson, is just to love, just to allow what is to be what it is, to let it flow through you and keep going in that space, that centered space that holds you without anger, without frustration, hold you in love. So yes, you'll come back to learn the lessons. Yes, the same lessons. Because until you learn them, you haven't released that negative energy that's going to keep going in your stomach and your third chakra or your fourth chakra, your heart chakra. These things are going to go round and round. This energy is going to keep going and keep building and keep manifesting until you learn that you don't need to hold on to it anymore. If you found that in this lifetime, perhaps you were abused by a boyfriend and maybe you're another boyfriend or maybe a friend, or Maybe you need to look into that. What am I doing? Why am I allowing this? Where's my lesson in this? Why am I here? Anytime that there is a negative energy flowing through you, and you know that negative energy, you feel it, you feel the anger, you feel the rush, ask yourself, why am I here? Why am I in this? What am I going to learn from this? Lessons aren't always necessarily great, big, life-shattering lessons. There are all these little things that happen day in and day out that you learn to come to your center space. And you don't get angry because you're late, or you're not getting what you want, or you're getting what you don't want. I didn't want that. I wanted the other thing. So these are the lessons of life, and they're going to come at you consistently. And what gets learned in this life and released is learned and released. What doesn't get learned, you'll get another opportunity again. Does that answer your question?
I kind of did want to know something about Mary, perhaps. Like, what was she like? What was Mary like? And this is your mother?
Referring to Mary, my mother, the Virgin Mary.
Yes.
She was a gentle, kind, loving, and yet very strong woman. She was able to guide myself and my brothers and sisters through a very turbulent life that we all lived. Her strength did come a lot from my father. They were a team. They worked together very closely for the benefit of those around them and not just their children. They were open-hearted and giving, and extremely wonderful, wonderful people. She is a mother to be revered. She is a mother to be thanked and to be grateful for having known her, and that we all know her as a child. She was a wonderful mother.
Well, those were the highlights of our latest channeling. I hope that you enjoyed the experience. We conduct these channelings during the evening of the second Tuesday of every month. You are invited to join these sessions and ask your own questions of Jesus. There is no cost or fee to participate. But you do have to be a member of either the Working with the Supernatural meetup group in Columbus, Ohio, or the Channeling Jesus in Southeast Florida meetup. You will get your announcements and Zoom links through these groups. If you can't make those meetups, you can always view the taped highlights on this YouTube channel. If you are curious exactly how the Spirit of Jesus approached me to get me involved in this project, that interesting story is told in my book, Heaven's PR Man 2.0. In the book, there are many revelations and laughs at my expense. It's worthwhile checking out. The book is available on Amazon.com. Ginny, me, and 3 other soulmates spent a past life together in the Galilee as members of the apostles' families. In our current lives, we are all psychics who are reunited again to serve on a common spiritual mission. The book Transitions reveals how we came back together. Ginny Balvin is mentored by the Spirit of Jesus to be his channel. Tara is coached by the spirit of her past life uncle, the Apostle Matthew, to change her life and fulfill her spiritual destiny. Through these supernatural sources, we uncovered 2 amazing stories that were not told in the Bible. There are also revelations about the near future of our world. The book Transitions will be available in September 2021 on Amazon.com.